Hey everyone, Anthony Cosenza here with Casabel Realty Group. Happy officially September. Hopefully you had a great Labor Day weekend. We got to you before the big holiday weekend with some information on the real estate market and everything going on with it. Hopefully you found that helpful. We're going to bring you another couple videos this week that hopefully you find helpful as well. This one's going to have a little bit of market data information. We'll bring more of that to you later this week as well, but we're going to bring you some that came our way earlier this week right now for you. And then later this week, we'll bring you a little bit more about MLS numbers and all that kind of stuff, as well as different things going on with, within the community and whatnot. So again, Anthony Cosenza, Casabel Realty Group. You can go to CasabelRealtyGroup.com as your resource for real estate needs. Of course, we want to work with you, so you can hit us up at one of our many social media platforms. Direct message us on Instagram, Facebook. Of course, you can direct message myself on Instagram. LinkedIn, if you want to follow me there and or check out if you're seeing these videos and end up having some questions. We'd love to answer those for you. So yeah, we want to be your go-to resource as a brokerage for referrals in the industry. If you need some home improvement suggestions or whatnot, we have some great professionals we can have you work with. Obviously, contractors, handymen, handywomen, all that sort of thing. We've got a lot of different folks, lenders that we can point you to that we work with and trust. So if you have any questions on that, let us know. And then of course, like the question we posed at the beginning of this video here, the title of this video: what is going on with the real estate market? Is now a good time to sell my house? Is now a good time to buy a house? And the answer, my friends, is yes. Yes to both. And here's why. There's a couple of different articles I'm going to point out to you, as well as some data from the great folks over at Reports on Housing that always help us out with some great snapshot information. So what's good about, using the realtor.com and, some of these other sources for articles and different stories, those give us, an idea as to what's going on, not only just in the market in general, but nationally, that sort of thing. And then we kind of pare it down to the Orange County market, the Southern California region as well. So we go macro and then we kind of go micro in terms of how we focus on things. But I wanted to bring this to you because all this stuff kind of came at me over the next, as it does after a holiday weekend, right? I mean, that holiday cuts a day out of the week. So all of a sudden you got to get all that stuff in. All right, let's start with a couple of different articles with realtor.com as we do our market information for you. So as I said, let's go realtor.com. Let's start with, there's two articles I'm going to point out here that I found very, very interesting. Home prices took the biggest plunge in 6 years. Is now the best time to buy. And you see the big reduced sign as their icon, their logo here. Is now the best time to buy. Yes. So, spoiler alert. The questions I'm going to ask of you rhetorically, be it through the title of this video, be it through these questions asked through the articles themselves, the answers are going to be yes, yes, yes. Here are some things. And this, of course, is by Margaret Heidenry from Realtor.com at the beginning of this month. This is less than a week old here after steadily climbing to the record shattering apex of $450,000. Again, national average. We're not talking necessarily Southern California, but record shattering apex of $450,000 in June. Home prices are at long last taking the plunge from July to August. National prices dropped from $449 to $435. Their most significant month-to-month plunge in data history dating back to 2016, according to a new report by Realtor.com. Granted, here's the thing. So you go, oh, well, I can't sell my house now, right? I mean, if it's dropping, I can't sell my house. Here you go right here, folks. Granted, home prices in August were still up annually 14.2% from a year earlier. So answers are yes, yes, yes. Yes, it's a good time to buy. Yes, it's a good time to sell. Up 14.2% from a year earlier, home prices. But it's a good time to buy as well because Inventory is up from months ago, as we keep telling you every time we do one of these videos. Still not absolutely floodgates open in terms of inventory being open, but it's, inventory is up, and sellers can still capitalize on equity that they've accrued in their home whenever they have purchased it, whether it's years and years and years ago, decades ago, or just a handful of years ago, whatever the case may be. You can do that. Now, we're seeing a shift in the balance. That's a quote here. And that quote is from Danielle Hale, who is the chief economist of Realtor.com. The quote here: this year, in addition to the cooling, we're seeing a shift in the balance of supply and demand. After years of demand vastly outstripping supply, forcing buyers who wanted to find a home to bid up prices, supply has increased, and that means price growth has cooled. So again, yes, it is a good time to buy because of that. But yes, you can still make, on the selling side, you could still capitalize on a large amount of equity that you've accrued here, despite some of the things balancing out and cooling off. So you can see here, these are some of the takeaways here. Buyers can be more selective now. That is no doubt because of, I've mentioned this before, when we did these videos at the end of 21, at the beginning of 22, the inventory in Orange County was 1,100, 1,200 homes active on the market. Right now, depending, and we've started to see this drop a tiny bit, but it's been hovering in the high 3,000s to low 4,000s over the last couple of months. So you can see that, that's where buyers can be a little bit more selective. Think about, if you have essentially 3 or 4 times more options on the market than you had 6 months ago, 8 months ago, obviously you're going to be a little bit more selective instead of, frenzy buying, that sort of thing. But homeowners are still, there are homes that are listed that are seeing price decreases because of all of this stuff. But again, there still are folks that, they price the house well, it can move still pretty quickly, and you can get a lot of equity. You can take advantage of a lot of equity you've accrued in your home based on, again, we're saying buyers can be more selective now. It's more balanced. I still go back on the listing side too. With all of that being the case, home prices in August are still up annually by 14.2%. So really a lot of things, if you joined us on one of our videos last week, you probably heard the great Dave Ramsey talking about how minimal of an actual true recession this is, in terms of, we hear about that 0.9% of a dip in terms of, two back-to-back quarters of the GDP going down. The last one was 0.9%, which is barely a blip on the radar, per his words. Whether if you want to believe that or what you want to take away from that, that's kind of up to you. But he is a guy who is quite knowledgeable in finance and the markets and everything, so that's something to keep in mind there. But I mean, regardless of what you make of the recession and everything, really, there's kind of some good news here. And I don't mean to be Mr. Sunshine about absolutely everything, but I mean, that's kind of a takeaway here. You can really, again, be a little bit more selective on the home buying side. You're seeing those price increases cool down a bit, but you're also starting to, as sellers, you're also still able to capitalize on high home prices, still up year over year. So kind of good news. Another article from Realtor.com that I wanted to share here that kind of echoes a little bit of these sentiments here and some others. This article right here: amid good news, there's a crucial housing market detail we are all overlooking. This is by Judy Dutton over at Realtor.com. And again, recent real estate headlines are bursting with promising news for home buyers, heralding a bright new housing market that's more balanced and buyer friendly. But what this exuberant outlook seems to be missing is a bit more balance itself. And you can see here, yes, home buyers have it a little bit better in some places, but for others, it's still a war zone, or at best a mixed bag. So that's where you need a professional like a real estate agent, like an experienced brokerage, to help you navigate the areas in which you are looking, as well as, seek out if you're on the buying side, seek out optimum situations with homes to buy. Or if you're on the selling side, let's get you that, let's make your house as competitive as possible, still in this, you know, seller friendly. We'll talk about that. Seller friendly slash maybe buyer friendly, more buyer friendly market. And you can see here, here's the weekly housing trends. Again, nationally speaking, median listing prices up 13.2%, new listings down 12%, time on market 5 days longer, and the mortgage rates up to 5.66%. So you see, again, it's a little bit here in the seller's corner, a little bit here in the buyer's corner, a little bit more, there's give and take on both sides, balancing this thing out. So yes, it is still a good time. You see here, median listing prices up, time on the market a little longer, right? But really, in the grand scheme of things, and if you look big picture, long term, 5 days longer on the market on average is not a long time. It's really not a long time. It's just the expectations from the past year and a half have been set at a certain level. And so the expectations on some things need to be altered from both buyers and sellers. New listings down. So you can see here, there was a little bit of a spike in inventory. Now we're seeing a little bit of drop. I noticed that as well in some MLS listings that I have pulled. Like I said, it was about 4,100 a few weeks ago, and now we're in the 3,700 range. So you're seeing a little bit of a drop there. Mortgage rates, you got to talk to a trusted mortgage professional to help you find the best rates possible. There are a lot of different options, a lot of different avenues that buyers can explore to help them get into a home that they desire, and of course, one that works in their budget. So all of that taken into account, and I wanted to share that graphic with you. Here is some reports from the great folks over at Reports on Housing. This plays into what I was saying about the Orange County inventory here, 3726. Today's inventory, and you see the 3-year average pre-COVID was around 7,000, just under there. The 2022 peak, I had said about 4,100. That sounds about right. 4,069 on August 4th, and the 2021 peak, 2,500. So you see the disparity there and the increase in inventory from a year's time, but still, in the grand scheme of things, we're looking at about half or so what was in the average of the pre-COVID years, 2017 through 2019. And there's today's inventory, courtesy of Reports on Housing. And we'll have a little bit more later this week in terms of MLS numbers and the like. Here are some other pieces of information. And here you go. When we talk about balance, it's balancing to the buyers. Here's the title from Reports on Housing. It's still a slight seller's market, Okay. So you see here, a normal market. The insane pace of the housing market has come to an end, and the instant marketplace has shifted to a much more normal, typical speed for this time of year. Again, expectations. Where are your expectations about this market? If you're still living in, I know it's switched seemingly on a dime, but if you're still living in the real estate market that was in February, in January of 22, that sort of thing, that's not where we are at. We are balanced out a bit. We are at a more, quote, normal market, but again, still a slight seller's market, and buyers can take advantage of things. So you can see here, inventory plunge. You see this is down 8% in Orange County. I mentioned the 12% decrease that was noted in Realtor.com's national average there. 30% fewer homes that came on the market compared to the 3-year average, 2017 to 2019. So yeah, I mean, you can see that demand takes a dip as well. Number of pending sales over the prior month decreased by 18 pending sales, down 1%. So not a huge dip. And then it still is the lowest reading for a start to September since 2007. Last year there were 2,682 pending sales, 46% more than today. So, year over year, big difference, month over month, or I guess past 2 weeks, down 1%, not a big panic moment there. Closed sales down 39% year over year. So there you go. That's down a bit as well. Again, kind of pointing to a number of different things. Again, some people are thinking, foreclosures and, short sales and that sort of thing. That's going to start taking up a lot of the market. We still have not seen that coming. It still accounts for about 1/10% of the total sales in Orange County. Obviously, that number probably varies from area to area and across the U.S., but at least in Orange County, that still is not what we are seeing here. So, that's not to say that won't increase a little bit down the future, but a lot of economists have not been predicting that that's going to be something that's going to be part and parcel of this real estate market going forward, or this quote unquote recession that we're talking about. Go back and look at our last video with Dave Ramsey talking about recessions, where we're at and what we've seen. And of course, you can go back and catalog some of our old videos and look at where we pulled some of the inventory and all of that. So you can get a read on, how things have moved and where we're at today. So again, the title of this video, is it a good time to buy or is it a good time to sell my house? Yes, both. It's a good time. It's a good time. Buyers still can find a loan program that works for them. Rates are definitely higher than they had been. We know that, but you can still find some good loan programs out there. We can point you to some great industry professionals to help you out with that. Inventory has gone way up from earlier this year, but has dipped a little bit as well, kind of playing back and forth into the seller side of things. But buyers can be a bit more choosy and can be a bit more deliberate in the offers they present, can be a bit more thoughtful in the offers that they submit and whatnot. So yes, the answers to the question of the title of this video, yes and yes. And of course, it's a slight seller's market per reports on housing, and it's a balanced market overall, more buyer friendly than it has been per realtor.com. Wanted to share all of that with you because there's a lot of info within those items there. And then of course, we've got more coming for you later this week. Hope you found that information helpful. We want to continue to be your resource of information, guidance, referrals, whatever we can as a real estate brokerage to help you navigate everything here, whether you're looking to buy or sell. We want to help you out. CasabellaRealtyGroup.com is the website, CasabellaSoCal@gmail.com. And of course, you can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel here where we catalog these videos. These are also out on our email blasts and whatnot, where we have a lot of different pieces of information. So if you want to get on that list as well, we would love to send you information that we do to all of our clients, past, present, future, etc. So we want to continue to do that, and we want to help you out with that if that's something you're looking to get. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back later this week with more information here, but hopefully you found this information helpful, and we will talk to you soon.